Close your eyes for just 3 seconds. Now whisper these words with complete conviction. It is already done. Did you feel that shift? That subtle change in the air around you? You've just activated something ancient, a frequency that Thoth himself used to bend reality. But here's what most people never discover. Saying the words means nothing if you're still broadcasting the wrong signal. Right now, at this exact moment, you're standing at a crossroads. One path leads to more of the same, more wanting, more waiting, more wondering why your affirmations aren't working. The other path? It leads to a complete restructuring of how the universe responds to you. And the fact that you're here, reading these words, that's not coincidence. That's your soul recognizing its time. Because I'm about to share with you the missing piece that even the most dedicated seekers overlook. The reason why your visualizations feel empty, why your gratitude lists aren't shifting your reality, why you still wake up feeling that gnawing sense that something essential is missing from your life. Today, that changes. Today, you discover the 4-layer vibrational protocol that Thoth encoded in the emerald tablets. A method so precise that when you apply it correctly, the universe literally cannot maintain its current configuration. It must reorganize itself around your new frequency. But I need to warn you, by the end of this transmission, you'll understand why 99% of people fail at manifestation. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. The comfortable illusion of just think positive will shatter. In its place, a power so real, so tangible, that you'll wonder how you ever lived without it. Let me share something that will fundamentally alter how you see reality. Last week, I met Sarah, a 42-year-old teacher who had been doing everything right for 3 years. Vision boards covered her walls. She meditated daily. She repeated affirmations until her voice was hoarse. Yet her bank account remained empty. Her relationship was falling apart, and she felt more disconnected than ever. "I don't understand," she told me, tears streaming down her face. "I'm doing everything the books say. Why isn't the universe listening?" Here's what I told her, and what I'm telling you now. The universe isn't deaf. It's just that you've been speaking the wrong language. Thoth revealed in his teachings that the universe operates on frequency, not vocabulary. Your words are like smoke signals, pretty to look at, but ultimately meaningless if there's no fire behind them. The real communication happens in the silent space between your thoughts, in the vibration you emit when no one's watching, when you are not trying. As Neville Goddard wrote in The Power of Awareness, "It is not what you want that you attract. You attract what you believe to be true." This isn't metaphor. This is physics at a level most scientists are only beginning to understand. Think of it this way. You're a broadcasting station, transmitting 24/7. Every emotion, every belief, every unconscious pattern is part of your signal. The universe? It's just a massive receiver, picking up your broadcast and reflecting it back as your life circumstances. When Sarah understood this, everything shifted. Within 30 days, she landed a consulting contract worth more than her annual teaching salary. Her partner started therapy, and they began healing their relationship. But most importantly, that hollow feeling inside, that sense that something was missing, it dissolved. Here's your first practical step to shift your frequency. The 3-2-1 frequency reset method. Step 3. 3 times a day, morning, noon, night. Stop whatever you're doing. Set a timer for 3 minutes. Step 2. For the first 2 minutes, scan your body from head to toe. Notice where you're holding tension. That tension? That's resistance. That's old frequency. Breathe into those spaces and whisper, I release what no longer serves my highest timeline. Step 1. In the final minute, place both hands on your heart. Feel your heartbeat. Now, generate one pure emotion, not a thought, but a feeling of already having received what you desire. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. Feel the relief, the gratitude, the peace of completion. This isn't visualization. This is frequency calibration. And when you do this consistently, you begin to broadcast a signal the universe cannot ignore. But here's where most teachings stop, leaving you with half the map. They tell you to change your vibration, but never explain where your desires actually exist. This is where Thoth's wisdom becomes revolutionary. In the Hermetic texts, he describes something called the Akashic realm, what modern physics might call the quantum field of infinite potential. Every possible version of your life already exists there, not as fantasy, not as maybe, as completed reality, simply vibrating at a frequency you haven't accessed yet. Dr. Joe Dispenza captures this perfectly in Becoming Supernatural. In the quantum field, there is an infinite number of potential realities that exist. When you change your energy, you select a new future from the field. Imagine standing in the center of an infinite library. Every book represents a different version of your life. In one, you're abundant beyond measure. In another, you're living your purpose with crystal clarity. These aren't wishes. They're documented realities, waiting for you to check them out. The problem? Most people are trying to write new books instead of accessing the ones that already exist. They're exhausting themselves trying to create from scratch when everything they desire is already complete, already perfect, already waiting. Here's how you access this invisible library. The Akashic alignment technique. Before bed, lie down with your arms at your sides. Close your eyes and say, I am now entering the library of all possibilities. Visualize yourself walking through endless rows of glowing books. Don't force it. Let your intuition guide you to one specific book. When you find it, notice its color, its weight, how it feels in your hands. Open it to any page. What you see there is a glimpse of the reality that's calling to you. Don't analyze it. Don't judge it. Simply observe and feel the emotions it evokes. Before opening your eyes, press that book against your chest and say, this reality is now integrated into my field. I am aligned with this timeline. When Tom, a struggling entrepreneur, started this practice, he kept seeing the same image, himself speaking on stage to thousands. He thought it was ego, wishful thinking. 6 months later, his TED Talk on conscious business practices went viral. The timeline was always there. He just needed to align with it. But even with these powerful techniques, something might still feel stuck. You might be thinking, I've tried everything. I've done the inner work. Why am I still not breaking through? This is where we need to talk about what Thoth called the invisible chains, the programming so deep, so embedded in your cellular memory that you don't even know it's there. These aren't the surface beliefs you're aware of. It's not, I don't deserve money, or love is hard to find. Those are symptoms. The real blocks live in what psychologist Carl Jung called the collective unconscious. Inherited patterns from your lineage, your culture, even past lives if you're open to that paradigm. Let me share Maria's story. She came to me after years of therapy, energy work, you name it. She knew all her limiting beliefs, had processed her trauma, yet couldn't break past $3,000 a month, no matter what she did. During a deep meditation, she suddenly saw her grandmother, a woman who had survived the depression by extreme frugality. In that moment, Maria realized she was carrying her grandmother's survival programming. It wasn't even hers, but it was running her financial reality. As Eckhart Tolle writes in A New Earth, the pain that you create now is always some form of non-acceptance, some form of unconscious resistance to what is. But what if that resistance isn't even yours? Here's how to identify and clear these invisible blocks. The ancestral pattern interrupt. Set aside 20 minutes when you won't be disturbed. Light a candle. Fire has been used for transformation since ancient times. Write this question at the top of a page. What pattern am I carrying that isn't mine? Now, without thinking, write for 10 minutes straight. Don't stop. Don't edit, don't judge. Let your hand move across the page. You're bypassing your conscious mind to access deeper knowing. When you're done, read what you wrote. Circle any patterns that surprise you, that feel foreign, yet familiar. For each pattern, perform this clearing. State aloud, I honor this pattern for how it served my lineage. Then, I now lovingly release this pattern from my field. Finally, I choose, state the opposite pattern as my new reality. Burn the paper safely, watching the smoke carry away what no longer serves you. Maria did this and identified 3 ancestral patterns around money. Within 2 months, she signed her first 5-figure client. The ceiling wasn't real, it was inherited. Now we arrive at what Thoth considered the most powerful tool for reality creation: mental alchemy. But forget everything you think you know about positive thinking. This isn't about forcing happy thoughts over fear. This is about transmutation, turning lead into gold at the energetic level. True alchemy happens in what Abraham Hicks calls the vortex, that state where your desire and your belief become indistinguishable. But here's the key everyone misses. You can't think your way there. You must feel your way there. James, a doctor burning out in his practice, discovered this the hard way. He spent months visualizing his ideal life, traveling, writing, teaching. But every visualization session ended with him feeling worse, more trapped. Why? Because he was visualizing from lack, not from having. The shift happened when he learned this technique, the Embodiment Protocol. Instead of visualizing what you want, become it for 5 minutes a day. Morning practice. Wake up, and before your feet hit the floor, ask, how would I feel if I woke up living my ideal life? Don't picture it. Feel it. Feel the sheets, the air, the lightness in your chest. Move through your morning routine as if you're already there. Evening practice. Before sleep, write 1 paragraph in past tense about the amazing day you just had, living your ideal life. Today was incredible. I woke up feeling that. Write with such detail and emotion that your nervous system believes it happened. James did this for 21 days. On day 22, he received an unexpected call. A wellness center in Costa Rica wanted him to lead their new integrative medicine program. The salary was less, but the life was everything he'd been embodying. As Napoleon Hill wrote in Think and Grow Rich, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But belief isn't mental, it's cellular, it's embodied. Here's where even advanced practitioners stumble. They reach a high vibration, feel the shift, then crash when life throws them a curveball. They think they've failed, that they've lost their manifestation. But Thoth taught something crucial. The universe moves in spirals, not straight lines. This is the law of rhythm. Everything expands and contracts, flows and ebbs. Your manifestation journey isn't a ladder you climb. It's a spiral you dance. When Lisa was building her coaching business, she'd have weeks of incredible momentum. Clients flowing in, money manifesting, purpose crystal clear. Then, suddenly, nothing. Crickets. Old fears resurfacing. She panicked, thinking she'd lost her connection. But here's what she didn't understand. Those quiet periods weren't failures. They were integration phases. The universe was reorganizing itself to accommodate her new frequency. Fighting against these natural rhythms only creates resistance. The spiral navigation method. When you hit a low point, instead of panicking, do this. Acknowledge, I'm in a contraction phase. This is natural and temporary. Appreciate, this phase is integrating my recent growth and preparing me for the next expansion. Activate. Take 1 small inspired action, not from desperation, but from trust. Send 1 email. Make 1 call. Write 1 page. Allow. Let the phase complete itself without forcing. The universe has its own timing. Lisa learned to surf these rhythms instead of fighting them. Her business didn't grow linearly. It grew exponentially, but in waves. Revenue would plateau for weeks, then suddenly triple. Clients would disappear, then referrals would flood in. As Rumi wrote, try not to resist the changes that come your way. Instead, let life live through you. And do not worry that your life is turning upside down. How do you know that the side you are used to is better than the one to come? We're approaching the summit now. That state of consciousness where manifestation isn't something you do, but something you are. Thoth called this the state of divine embodiment. Modern teachers might call it living in the end. But here's the distinction most miss. This isn't about pretending or affirming. This is about such complete internal alignment that your very presence reorganizes reality around you. Michael, a musician who'd been struggling for years, discovered this accidentally. After another rejected demo, he gave up. Not in defeat, but in surrender. He stopped trying to make it and started simply being music. He played in parks for joy. He wrote songs for friends. He taught kids for free. 6 months later, a producer heard him playing in a coffee shop. That impromptu performance led to a record deal. But here's the key. Michael wasn't playing to get discovered. He was playing because he was music. The universe simply responded to his authentic frequency. The being state activation. This is the most powerful practice I can share, directly from Hermetic teachings. Step 1, the recognition. Sit quietly and recognize, I am not separate from what I desire. We are made of the same source energy. Step 2, the merger. Feel your desire not as external, but as an aspect of yourself returning home, like greeting a long-lost friend. Step 3, the embodiment. Throughout your day, make choices from this merged state. Would someone who is abundance worry about bills? Would someone who is love chase after approval? Step 4, the overflow. Let this state naturally overflow into inspired action. Not action to get, but action because you are. This is what Wayne Dyer meant in The Power of Intention when he wrote, "You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are." But here's where spiritual teachings often become impractical. They tell you to just be and wait for magic. Thoth's teachings are more grounded. Yes, being is primary, but being without movement is stagnation. Inspired action isn't force. It's not hustle. It's the natural movement that arises when you're aligned with your true frequency. It feels like play, like obvious next steps, like breadcrumbs the universe leaves for you to follow. When Rachel aligned with her frequency of being a healer, she didn't immediately quit her corporate job and open a practice. Instead, she noticed small inspirations, a nudge to take that herbalism course, an idea to start a blog about natural wellness, a feeling to reach out to an old friend who ran a wellness center. Each action felt light, obvious, joyful. Within a year, she was transitioning into her practice, not through force, but through following the breadcrumbs. The inspiration compass technique. Every morning, after your frequency work, ask, what would be fun to do today that moves me toward my vision? Not what should I do or what must I do. What would be fun? Write down 3 things. Choose the one that makes you feel lightest. Do that one thing with full presence and joy. Watch how the universe responds with the next breadcrumb. We're almost at the summit, but there's one final piece that makes everything click into place. It's what separates those who manifest consistently from those who get sporadic results. Thoth called it active patience, the art of moving forward while trusting divine timing. This isn't passive waiting. This isn't someday my prince will come. This is dynamic trust, taking aligned action while releasing attachment to timeline. David's story illustrates this perfectly. He'd been trying to manifest a specific amount, $50,000, to start his sustainable technology company. He did everything: visualization, affirmations, Inspired action. Months passed. Nothing. Then he learned about active patience. Instead of obsessing about the money, he started building the company anyway. He created prototypes with cardboard. He pitched to friends. He acted as if the funding was just a formality. The money came, but not as $50,000. It came as a $500,000 investment from a venture capitalist who saw his cardboard prototype and was blown away by his vision and commitment. As Deepak Chopra writes in the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, in order to acquire anything in the physical universe, you have to relinquish your attachment to it. The trust momentum practice. Each night before bed, review what you did that day from inspiration, building momentum. Release it fully to the universe. This or something better. Feel gratitude as if it's already done. Ask, what would I love to wake up to tomorrow? Maintaining momentum. Sleep in that frequency of pleasant expectation. Now, everything we've covered leads to this moment. The complete formula that Thoth encoded. 4 layers that, when activated together, create an irresistible signal to the universe. Layer 1, the frequency of completion. You must vibrate as if it's already done. Not hoping, not wishing, knowing with the same certainty that you know the sun will rise. This is what Sarah mastered when she went from broke teacher to thriving consultant. Layer 2, emotional precision. Vague desires create vague results. You must know exactly how you want to feel in your new reality. Not just happy, but the specific flavor of satisfaction, peace, excitement, or fulfillment you're calling in. Layer 3, embodied movement. Every action must carry the frequency of already having. This is what Michael did when he stopped trying to make it and simply became music. Your actions announce your frequency louder than your words. Layer 4, surrendered timing. Release when and how to the universe's infinite intelligence. This isn't giving up, it's giving over. It's trusting that the universe's plan is better than your limited perspective could imagine. When these 4 layers align, you create what I call a reality vortex, a point of such magnetic coherence that the universe must respond. It has no choice. You've aligned with its fundamental operating system. The daily Vortex Protocol. Morning, 5 minutes. Layer 1. Feel complete gratitude for what's already happened. Layer 2. Generate the specific emotions of your desired reality. Midday, 3 minutes. Layer 3. Take one action from the frequency of having. Check, am I acting from lack or from abundance? Evening, 5 minutes. Layer 4. Release the day's actions to divine timing. Trust that everything is reorganizing in your favor. Before sleep, 2 minutes. Integrate all 4 layers in a statement. I am layer 1. I feel layer 2. I move as layer 3. I trust layer 4. I know this is deep. I know it might feel overwhelming. Your mind might be spinning with all the possibilities, all the techniques, all the shifts happening inside you right now. That's normal. That's actually a sign that old patterns are dissolving. But information without integration is just entertainment. So here's how you make this real. The 7-day reality reset challenge. Day 1 to 2. Focus only on the 3-2-1 frequency reset. Master this before adding more. Day 3 to 4. Add the Akashic alignment before bed. Notice what visions arise. Day 5-6. Incorporate the being state throughout your day. How does it change your choices? Day 7. Bring all 4 layers together with the daily Vortex protocol. Journal each night. What shifted? What resistance arose? What felt easy? Remember, you're not trying to be perfect. You're building momentum. Every small shift creates a ripple that becomes a wave. Right now, in this moment, you stand at the threshold. Behind you is everything you've known, the trying, the hoping, the wondering why it's not working. Ahead is a reality where you are the frequency of what you desire, where the universe responds to your very presence, where manifestation is as natural as breathing. The knowledge has been transmitted. The tools have been given. But knowledge without application is like having a key and never opening the door. So I ask you, will you be part of the 1% who actually applies this? Who moves beyond consumption into creation? Who stops asking the universe and starts commanding reality through your aligned frequency? If something in your soul is screaming yes, then prove it. Right now, in the comments below, type, "I am the frequency. It is already done." This isn't just a comment. It's a vibrational declaration. It's you announcing to the universe and to yourself that you're ready to stop playing small. Every person who reads your declaration will add their energy to it, creating a collective field of transformation. And if you're ready to go even deeper, if you can feel that this is just the beginning of your awakening, I've prepared something special. Another transmission that takes everything we've covered and amplifies it tenfold. It's appearing on your screen now. Click it. Take the next step. Because your soul didn't bring you this far to stop now. The universe is waiting for your signal. What frequency will you broadcast today? Remember, you're not just learning techniques. You're remembering who you really are. You're activating dormant codes. You're stepping into the timeline that's been calling your name. The time for waiting is over. The time for hoping has passed. This is the time for being. Welcome to your new reality. Welcome to the frequency of fulfillment. Welcome home.